1. Is the mic working? Yes, the mic is working. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the McDonCast. Today, we have a special episode. We're talking about the new Apple event with our guest here, All I Talk is Tech, or All I Used to Talk is Tech, because he doesn't talk tech much anymore.
No, I'm retired.
But he is on, and we are going to be talking some Apple tech. We got some Apple news. They just had their new event. We got the new iPads. We got the new iPhones. We got the new Apple Watches. We got it all here on the McDonCast today. So welcome live for our first live episode. Well, I think it is the first live episode of the McDonCast. We're going to be talking tech because this makes it easier to post it to YouTube without running my computer all night. Alrighty.
Dude, this podcast has everything.
We got everything.
Wow.
And the slightly different decorations for the Apple special. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun here today, boys.
Beast.
All right. So, starting off our Apple event discussion, we have the new iPads, and starting off with the least interesting of the two new iPads, the iPad 9th generation.
Why does it have a home button?
Oh, because they took this iPad and gave it an iPhone 11 processor. I'm done talking. That's all they did. And they changed the base model from 32 to 64 gigs. Which
64 on an iPad?
Well, it's only $329.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Which is still...
That's a good price, though. To get into the Apple ecosystem,
yeah, that's not bad.
$300, that's pretty good.
And if you compare it to literally any Android tablet, that's immediately a steal. Because every Android tablet is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
The iPads have about as much competition as the Apple Watch, which is to say no competition right now.
Pretty much.
All right, so yeah, but the one thing they did add that is cool is the not A13, that's not as cool. The ultra-wide camera with center stage. So they're bringing the center stage feature from the iPad Pros from last year, or was it last year or earlier this year? From recently to the new non-Pro iPads.
That's a good step in the right direction, but... why are you taking a photo with an iPad?
It's a great question. Well, no, it's for it's the front face. It's for Zoom calls or whatever.
Okay, then that's perfect. That actually makes more sense.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Now they did also make the rear camera better, but if you're taking a video on an iPad, it's because you're a parent who doesn't know what iPads are for.
It's good to have the ability, it can't hurt.
Yeah, and it is also only $299 for education, which. I'm not saying anyone can click that when they're checking out, and Apple doesn't verify whether or not you're a student, but you can do that. Anyways, and now the much more interesting iPad, and the only one I would consider buying of the two new iPads, is the iPad Air 4, which
that's a cool iPad.
Yeah, has new colors and the new iPad Pro sort of form factor with the squared off bezels.
Oh yeah.
Or edges, whatever it's called. It's a round. Now the bevel's are round. The sides are square.
I like that.
Yeah, I like the design much better. It does support the Apple Pencil 2, which is good, because the fact that an iPad that was just released still supports the Apple Pencil 1, which was released, I believe, almost 6 years ago now, is absurd.
I would hope that Apple can support a pencil, how generous of them. $100 pencil, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it something like that?
It was $99.
Yeah,
and the Gen 2 is $130.
For a pencil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, it magnetically attaches to the side and it wirelessly charges through the iPad, so I mean, that one's kind of cool.
Would Apple be ableist if someone with no hands wanted to buy a pencil?
Why would someone with no hands buy an iPad?
Well,
how would they buy an iPad?
I just think it's messed up that Apple's like, hey, you have no fingers. We're going to charge you $130 for a pencil now. Well,
the assumption is you would use it to write, not as a hand replacement. Anyways, it does have it has an 8.3-inch display, which I believe is an inch larger than the original display on the previous iPad mini, but it has maintained the same form factor, so that's very cool. Also, the display is 500 nits, which is half that of the iPad Pros, but it's an iPad mini, and if you expect the same performance out of it as an iPad Pro, you're just a dum-dum, and there's nothing I can do about that.
All right. Dang, you just roasted half the audience.
Oh, it does have a Touch ID and the power button, same as the iPad Air 4.
Apple should have done that with the iPhone, because it still has the notch. Why don't they just add Touch ID on the power button and they could get rid of the whole face camera thing?
Well, because they'd still have to put a camera there.
No, they'd put a smaller camera. There's like 3 cameras here.
I like Face ID better than Touch ID.
Yeah, but like you would pull your phone out of your pocket and it would already be unlocked because your finger naturally lands on that power button.
Yeah.
And then by the time then you don't have to like scan it
or
and then wipe it off.
Why don't they just do both?
Ooh.
Options, something Apple's afraid of.
Ooh.
We also, this was super weird, but we got our first few seconds of Star Wars Hunters gameplay, which is their new Battle Arena sort of Overwatch style Star Wars game, which I was not expecting from the Apple event because the trailer for the game released after the Apple event, so no one even knew what Star Wars Hunters was when they were talking about it.
Yeah, it's like,
it had been announced last year, but all we saw was like a teaser with the logo. We didn't actually know what the game was, so no one knew. I didn't even know what was happening. They were just like, in this new Star Wars game. I'm like, what new Star Wars game? What are you playing? What is that game?
Who's making this?
Yeah. But anyways, it has USB-C, which I was surprised by. I was not expecting that, but I raises more. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that when we get to the iPhone 13 because I've got some words to say about that.
Okay.
It has 5G support, rendering iPhones kind of pointless. Why would you buy an iPhone SE when you could buy an iPad mini for the same price and it has 5G and a way bigger screen and an A15 processor?
This one ability the iPhone has that iPads don't, socially, do this.
But
you don't want
to FaceTime all the time.
Yeah, all the time. FaceTime is a little obnoxious.
Get AirPods.
A little obnoxious, I think.
Get AirPods, put it in your backpack.
Oh. No, because if you're in Chipotle, man, you're just going to be like that guy waiting
with AirPods. Everyone in Chipotle has AirPods.
No, but you're going to be talking in line. It's going to be loud and like...
Well, how would putting your phone to your face solve that problem?
No, just...
But anyways, yeah, so... And I mean, if you think like the Samsung Galaxy Fold, also basically the same size as an iPad mini. Much, much more expensive.
You know what's cool about the Samsung Galaxy Fold? Is if you fold it, you can actually throw it away in those recycling bins. A lot easier.
All right, and it has the same front-facing camera as the iPhone XR, or at least I assume it does, because that's the one they probably had extras of. It does have 4K recording, which is cool, but it's an iPad, so who cares?
Yeah.
12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, so it also has center stage, which is nice. If we can get that on all the iPads, that would be super duper cool.
Pretty solid.
Stereo speakers, which is nice. Even I don't think the iPad Air... No, the iPad Air 4 I think does. But give the stereo speakers to everything, because listening to stuff on half of your thing is bad, and I don't like it.
Yeah. Stereo's welcome.
Yeah, second gen Apple Pencil support, and it's $4.99. I wasn't paying attention enough to write down the for education price, but I'm sure it's about $100 off. Yep, and that one is supposed to release this week because this event was last week, and I said it releases next week, which is now this week, so it releases this week.
Now the entire audience is confused.
It's okay, that'll be fine. Yeah, so Apple Watch, we're moving on. We got the Apple Watch Series 7 and the release of Watch OS 8, which is like super duper cool. We'll talk about that. I guess that's first in the docket, so we'll talk about that first. Watch OS 8 adds cycling detection as a workout thing that they have.
Do you put the watch on your ankle?
Yeah, you put the watch on the bicycle, and then it tells you the heartbeat of the bicycle.
Dude, why haven't they had this sooner?
But yeah, so if you start riding a bike as like a workout, it'll automatically detect it. I don't know how that would work if you're like using a Peloton or something, or if that would work at all, because I'm not exactly sure how their detection works. I'm sure someone smarter than me knows.
They could tell the heartbeat of a Peloton, probably.
But it also has crash detection, so if you crash on your bike, if you crash on your bike, it's like the same as the fall detection. It's just you're on a bike.
So it'll just stop playing like the baby. That's about it.
Probably. And now on to the cool stuff. The Apple Watch Series 7, which I've heard a lot of weird conspiracy theories about. We can talk about that when we get to the end of this segment. But it's still round, which I like because square watches are stupid and uncomfortable. I don't know if you've ever had a square watch, but I used to have a square watch.
Your watch is square.
No, squared off sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to have the Pebble. I used to have a Pebble Steel, and let me tell you from experience, square sides on a watch is not the move.
No bueno.
Yeah, so it's still round. It has a 20% larger screen, but it's the same size body, which is cool. So they're making those bevels smaller, which is nice to see.
Very nice.
It's actually more round than the previous version because they changed the body because they invented a new glass shape thing to put on top. Because it refracts the light from the display, so if you look at it from this angle, you can actually read it from this way, which is something I'm sure no one will use, but is kind of cool to look at.
Yeah. But reflections and stuff might be weird. Like, imagine trying to click the back button, and it's like, touch the bend part. That might be annoying, rather than touching a flat part.
Well, they did change the shape, so hopefully that might fix it. Yeah, I don't know how that all works.
Maybe that's a concern that doesn't exist.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe the buttons are in the right place instead of in the wrong place.
He'll have a review unit very short.
I will not have a review unit. It is now 70% brighter indoors, which... Who cares? That's not an issue anyone has ever had with an Apple Watch. Yeah, I don't know why they even bothered mentioning that.
They should say it's 10% brighter outdoors.
Yeah, why would you care if it's brighter indoors? I think it's because of like battery, so you can turn the brightness up more inside and still have the same battery life. But I honestly have no idea, and that doesn't make any sense to me. Moving on, it has full keyboard support,
so you can hook up a
keyboard? You can type.
Oh no!
On your watch.
What if you use the
so
digital...
stupid.
They should use the digital crown, like on the Nanos. You know how you had to like scroll?
Yeah.
They should have done that. That would have been awful.
Yeah, I don't... Apple, why'd you do that?
So you're telling me there's a full keyboard?
Yeah, it's a QWERTY keyboard on the watch face. They're like, I guess it was that 20% screen size that was holding us back from a keyboard.
Yeah. Now we can fit the back button.
All right. It does so it does have a lot of really cool like sports detection stuff. So it'll detect if you're like playing tennis, or it'll detect if you're playing golf, or if you're surfing, or like it'll detect all these cool things, which is really nice. I think that's cool. I'm sure all the surfers in our audience will think that's really neat.
Yeah.
They added some new workout stuff. They got some new Fitness Plus stuff. 15 new countries have been added. They're subtitled. They're not dubbed. So I don't live in any of those countries, so it doesn't affect me at all.
They're probably not buying Apple Watches.
Yeah, they also added guided meditations, and they will now be available as audio only for all Apple Watch users.
Aren't you supposed to, like... I don't know much about meditation, but I do know, like, isn't no technology supposed to be part of it?
Or aren't you supposed to be, like, quiet and
Yeah,
have, like, AirPods in? Like, listening to some guy... Be quiet.
Yeah. You're not supposed to have like notifications and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how meditation works. Meditation experts, tell us if we're right.
Yeah.
And they also added group workouts. So same with the iOS 15 stuff, how you can like do the group FaceTime to watch stuff.
Ooh.
They added that, but for the workouts, that I think actually is cool. So might ask your friends if they want to work out with you if you got an Apple Watch.
You can compete with friends.
And now here's where this is the end of my Apple Watch notes, but here's the conspiracy theory, is that Apple was going to make a squared off Apple Watch. They were having production issues, and so they last minute pivoted to this one, because this Apple Watch still hasn't entered production yet, and all of the footage we saw of it was all renders, and they only have 3 actual units made at the moment.
3?
Yeah. So a lot of people are theorizing that they were trying to make a square one. They ran into production issues last minute, decided to make this one instead, and that's why it's still not in mass production. I don't know if I buy that theory, because I feel like Apple would have that would have been a mess up on par with like AirPower if that is actually what happened.
I feel like Apple could have delayed the event first before they...
I think if that happened, they just would have not mentioned the Apple Watch and just waited till later.
Yeah.
Because with the iPhones, they do have to release one every year for like legal reasons. They have deals with like carriers and stuff. Apple Watches, they don't. They just release them when they want to.
It's just nice with the press.
Yeah, it's just nice if it's all at once. Yeah. Anyway, cool. So that's weird. Moving on. iPhone 13 mini. Now we're getting into some of the cool stuff. All right.
Here we go.
It looks exactly like the leaks. So if you've ever seen a leak, you have seen the iPhone 13. It is Yeah, I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Actually, I have one in my pocket, but it's a little bit different. So the 13, take this circle, move it right there, and it looks exactly like a 13.
Cross your eyes when you look at an iPhone 12.
It looks just like
13.
Yeah. So and as far as they have made clear, the regular 13 and 13 mini are also using the exact same camera module as the 12. The software is just different. So even the hardware hasn't changed. They just moved it slightly. They did add sensor shift, which the regular 12s and 12 minis don't have. But that also doesn't really do a whole lot unless you're running while recording with your phone, which, again, you really shouldn't be doing anyways. So
I don't know. A lot of stuff's got to be captured for TikTok, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The TikTokers will really like this one.
That's a big feature.
But yeah, so the notch finally shrunk 20%. So you probably won't notice it again unless you're looking at them right next to each other. But I mean, any improvement is improvement. We'll take it. It has a bigger battery.
That's
which is cool because Apple does not care about battery life. They do not prioritize it in the slightest, and it's nice to see that they did actually make a point to increase the battery life.
Actually, do you know why Steve Jobs died so early?
Because he didn't think about his battery life. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, the iPhone mini is back, which I wasn't expecting them to make again this year, because the iPhone 12 mini sold horribly.
I think it sold well in like other countries.
It sold pretty well in other countries because it was cheap, but it was pretty much like no one in America cared. I've seen, I think, maybe 2 of them in the wild.
You've seen them?
Because people at the restaurant I work at will come in with iPhone 12 minis, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's an iPhone 12 mini."
Wow, they're sorry losers.
They're usually like people who just I don't know, didn't want to buy the regular one because it's cheaper. I don't know, but
they just hate themselves.
Yeah, the iPhone 12 mini did not sell well in America, at least. So I was surprised that they were making it again. But I mean, I like the option. I like the smaller form factor. Yes. I'm glad that Apple's keeping it alive. The screen is 28% brighter.
Indoors or outdoors?
Both.
Wait. But the sun is brighter than indoors.
Well, it's compared to last year, not compared to the sun.
Oh. What about last year's sun, though?
The sun last year was brighter, though.
Exactly.
And it is also more power efficient, which...
I doubt
still an OLED display. I'd be surprised if they even changed the display at all.
I call BS whenever Apple says it's more power efficient, because you know what actually happens? The iPhone that's about to be replaced just gets worse battery life because everyone's iPhone 12 is now a year old, and then the new iPhone is just that much better. They didn't change anything. The previous year just sucks.
Well, this is specifically the display being more power efficient, not the phone.
Yeah, but... I don't know, man. I call BS. They always say that.
Yeah, I don't know what that really... Because once you make it OLED, it's like pretty much... It's as efficient as it's going to get. It's off when it's not being used. So, I don't know.
I mean, obviously, it's probably more efficient, but...
Probably is via some magic apple juice they poured on the phone or something. Anyways, A15 Bionic is 5 nanometers still, so they're on the same architecture as last year. They didn't change that, but they don't change that very often anyway, so that's not super surprising.
Yeah.
They said it was 30% faster, or was it 30 or 50? Some percent faster than the competition.
What's the competition?
Exactly. For one, they didn't say what that means, for who that is. They didn't say who the competition was. And 2, they almost always compare their chips to last year's chips. This is the first time in my memory that they've ever compared their chips to the competition. They usually just pretend that if you don't have an iPhone, you have a brick phone from the 80s.
They just assume you got nothing.
They just assume that you're doing this instead of calling people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was weird. And again, the theory is that they just didn't make that much of an improvement, so they're just like, well, it'll sound better if we compare it to the competition that was already behind, instead of comparing it to ourselves. So
just because we suck and we didn't make any real improvements.
I mean, even the flagship Android processors from this year haven't caught up to the A14. So, I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, but it's just kind of funny that they did it.
Yeah.
Camera. I already mentioned sensor shift. It has better low light, of course, because every year it has better low light. It's less noisy in ultra-wide, which is something I actually have noticed back when we were doing the podcast on the ultra-wide cameras. It was a lot more noisy than the regular one, so that's nice. The new cinema mode. Did you see that?
Does that have to do with the focus and everything?
Yeah, so it's sort of an AI-driven film-based autofocus.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool. It would have been very, very handy when we were making our movie. Unfortunately, it didn't exist yet. And again, I don't know why this isn't...
Alright.
I don't really know why this wasn't just baked into iOS 15 and how this is exclusive to the phone, because as far as I know, any iPhone should have been able to do that, but I guess maybe you need this A15 processor, because zooming is just too hard for the phone to do if you don't have that.
iPhone 11 can't do it.
No, it does look really cool, so that's good. It follows gazes, scene composition. It's pretty crazy. That's all good. Dolby HDR support. That's nice.
Dolby.
Yeah, we like the HDR. So for those of you that don't know, that just means it retains more data, like color data, when you film. So it looks nicer when you edit it and watch it. Now the thing is a lot of computers don't support HDR, so...
Oh, well, if you have a Mac, though...
If you have a Mac, there you go!
Then you're settled.
Yep. Alright, and they said a bunch of more crap about 5G and how it's magic. I was watching this whole presentation on 5G in a Whataburger taking notes.
Okay.
So it was lagging almost every 2-3 minutes, and I had 4 bars. So 5G's not that cool, Apple. Please shut up.
Yikes, dude.
Yeah, battery, I already mentioned that. MagSafe stuff. Oh, so they made some new MagSafe cases, which, and fine, whatever, different colors, who cares? And they should be compatible with the 12 because they're the same shape. But they made a new wallet, MagSafe wallet, with Find My in it.
Ooh.
So if you lose your wallet, you can use the Find My network to track it down.
That's
which
genius.
Is super nice. I like that a lot, and I might actually buy that now, depending, maybe, we'll see. Probably not, but maybe.
That's like one product that if you lose your phone, your wallet, but hold on.
You have your iPad. There you go.
Have you ever but have you ever thought of putting an AirTag on another AirTag in case you lose the AirTag?
In case you lose your AirTag.
Just in case, you know. So you might want to put an AirTag.
You buy the 4-pack, and then you can stick the third one to those two in case you lose both.
That's literally how you should do it.
Anyways, so the Pro, or not the Pro, the regular one now starts at 128 gigs, which is nice. I had the 64 gig 10R, and I never ran out of storage.
I have 64 gigs on this. I want to throw it in a gutter or something. I hate this piece of crap.
No, okay, well, he seems
64 gigs is not enough.
Okay, it was enough for me.
Ever.
I was recording 4-hour-long video every week.
I'm recording 5-hour-long video every... No.
But yeah.
A lot of photos.
I did get the 128 gig 12 because I got a discount on it, so I thought might as well get the bigger storage. But, yeah, I mean, I don't even think I'm on half... I don't think I've filled it up even halfway.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be starting at $799 for the main 12 and $699 for the mini. So it's $100 more than the 12s.
That's
cool. They also aren't selling the 12s anymore, and the 11 has officially replaced the 10R as Apple's pseudo, almost kind of budget model. So they just knocked another $100 off the 11.
How much is the 11 now?
I think it might be $499.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
Which is a killer deal.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, if it is $499, I could be totally wrong.
You know what, man? When people say iPhones are too expensive, that's BS now. I think
they're only too expensive if you buy them when they come out.
Yeah, but if you just
because Apple will knock $100 off the price if you wait a year.
Yeah.
Because they want, again, now the whole point of having an iPhone more or less is the status symbol, which is why they're able to charge such ridiculous prices for their new phones. And why they knock so much money off the old ones is because they know you don't want to be that lame kid at school who's got the old iPhone.
Dude, you have a better iPhone than AllITalkIsTech. How do you feel right now?
Hey, at least you got that zoom camera, though.
Wait, you don't?
No, it's got 2 cameras. Got an ultra wide and a regular.
I thought you had the 12 Pro.
No, I did not get the 12 Pro. That would have been
I didn't know
a stupid amount of money for a phone that is barely different.
What's it like being poor?
All right. Now, speaking of the pros, we're moving on to the pros.
Yeah.
And my laptop seems to be doing pretty well on battery, even though I'm streaming live. But anyways.
Good.
Yeah, turns out that the Wi-Fi when you stream is actually not too terrible when you're not also playing video games at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I'd hope so.
But yeah, 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max. They have the most ridiculously, stupidly large cameras I've ever seen on an iPhone. Have you seen the size of the cameras?
It's like way larger than this.
It's like
it
goes
cool.
almost more than halfway across the back.
That's good though.
Yeah, it's cool, but like that's huge. That's massive.
That's
yeah.
badass, dude. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah. Yeah, it literally takes up almost the whole top half of the phone. It has the same A15 Bionic as the new iPad Air and the new iPhone 12, so the processor's the same. I mean, that's not surprising. They always have. That's always the case.
It'll be a fast phone.
It has Super Retina XDR display with 120 hertz. Freaking finally! It's been long enough. When was the first Samsung phone with 120 hertz? Like 2017?
Which decade was that? Oh shit!
I think it literally has been 4 or 5 years since 120 hertz has been pretty much standard on every other phone that's not an iPhone.
Samsung hardware wise, man. All Apple needs to do is download iOS on a Samsung device and start selling it.
Unless now with video, Samsung is not a good one.
Wait, they're all wobbly and stuff.
No, we're gonna get to this pretty much now. But if you want to shoot good video on your phone, like you want to have the best phone video you can, which is a strange market to be in, but it exists. If you buy anything other than this phone, you're pretty much you're stupid. Mm-hmm. You're a dum-dum. Because it supports
iPhones kill it.
I'm just gonna skip ahead to where the camera stuff is. It supports ProRes, which is nuts for a phone to do. That's absolutely insane.
It's all right.
That's like film, like that's what they film like the Avengers on. Like that's the video codec that professionals actually use.
You don't hear shot on Android very often.
Yeah. That's the codec that like professional grade movie cameras use. And they brought a bunch of directors on to hype it up. It's cool. Which brings me to my next thing. That's why they added the 1 terabyte option. Because ProRes video takes up an ungodly amount of space, like 6 to 8 times more than a regular video would take up.
Whoa.
So, but it's cool to have a terabyte on a phone. That's crazy.
Cool. Terabyte, dude.
Like that's you would never ever use all that unless you're shooting ProRes like every day.
Taking photos, you know.
Yeah, but we got bigger sensors, of course. Better night mode, I would hope so.
With a big ass camera like
up to 6 times optical zoom, which is cool. We've never seen that before. Also, the optical zoom on the zoom camera has been increased from 2 times to 3 times.
Ooh,
so that's nice. They all have night mode, which is cool. They don't all have that. They didn't all have that on the 12, so that's nice. Cool. And yeah, I wrote in here some filmmakers like it, I guess, because they brought on a bunch of directors from like shows and stuff, and they were like, "This is the best camera I've ever seen."
They paid a bunch of directors.
They were like, "This is gonna change the language of film," and I'm like, "No, it's not. That's an iPhone."
Marvel's not gonna use an iOS 15.
Yeah, the battery. So it's 1.5 hours better than the 12 Pro and 2 hours better than the 12 Pro Max, depending on which version you get.
Solid.
They silently changed their environmental goals, and this isn't something they pointed out. This is something I spotted in the background.
Ooh.
Now, do you remember when they did their WWDC conference when they said they wanted to be completely carbon neutral by?
Very soon, right?
2025.
Yeah.
Now, in the background of both their phone presentation and their iPad presentation, they had circled in little green font with their little leaves around it to make you feel all happy about buying iPhones. That they will be carbon neutral by 2030. So they have pushed that goal back 5 years and said nothing.
Oh.
Which, if you are an environmentalist and you buy Apple products for that reason, which you really shouldn't be doing anyways, that's not very cool of them.
They pushed it back 5 years?
Yeah.
I'm switching to Android.
Oh, definitely. Google's so much better at environmentalism.
That's messed up.
But yeah, 1 terabyte option is crazy. Starts at $999. And it goes up to, I believe, $1,400.
No,
for the terabyte version. It might be more than that actually.
For the 11, for the 13 Pro Max, because I wanted to buy one. It's $1,600 for the 1 terabyte. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Big
the Max with the terabyte. Yeah.
$1,600, or you could buy a used Honda Civic. With 300,000 miles on it. Just saying.
So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the event. That's everything I wrote down here. That pretty much covers all the hardware releases. Now, iOS 15 released today, actually, if you haven't downloaded it yet. So
No, I have not. I don't have enough storage on my 64 gigabyte iPhone.
So yeah, that's pretty much that's all the stuff. Got any thoughts? Got anything you're thinking about upgrading to?
I really do want that 13 Pro Max.
Yeah, if I had $2,000 lying around, I'd probably buy it too, just for the 120 hertz. But I don't, and I got a new phone like a couple months ago, so I would do that. Yeah.
This thing's good, typical stuff. iPhone scratched, battery life is bad, low storage now, and I need storage, battery, and the new color.
Of course. Did you see the new blue?
I want that one.
It's a slightly lighter blue.
I have to get that, dude.
It's the lightest blue on an iPhone.
That's sick.
I'm surprised they didn't say that. They always go, it's the most insert noun on an iPhone ever.
It's the only one.
That's something that surprised me too, is like with the iPads, they totally took the numbers off. It's just iPad, iPad Air, and iPad Pro, and they stopped numbering them, so you just have to use the year that it came out.
That's alright. I mean,
with iPhones, they haven't done that.
It's because I think everyone's like, yo, do you have the iPhone 13? They don't say, do you have the 2022 iPhone?
Yeah, because that would sound stupid.
Yeah.
Then why would you do it on the iPads?
I don't know.
Except for the Airs, because they've always numbered the Airs. So the Airs still have numbers, but the rest don't.
I don't know, man.
It's dumb.
These are the same people that replaced the gun emoji with the water gun emoji.
And then everyone else did it because they're like, oh, Apple did it. That means we have to do it too.
Yeah. So still not happy about that.
Yeah. Give us our guns back, Apple. But yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Any other thoughts you had on the event? I just got iOS 15 today, so I'm looking forward to using the new watch with people stuff.
That's cool.
Where you can like watch movies and stuff at the same time, and it'll pause it between you and all that stuff.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, on FaceTime and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, what's cool is like, yeah, I guess if you get the new iPhone, iOS 15 can be killer. But
yeah.
If you have an older iPhone that's fully loaded, something I would never recommend is if your iPhone's full on storage, never, ever, ever get the new update. I don't know what it is, but when your iPhone's full on storage, I've had this happen with 10 different phones. If you use 64 out of 64 gigs, the phone can't even use internet. It can't even play music right. Like, it's just a lag.
Yeah, it needs needs an extra gig just as like basically to use as extra RAM.
Yeah, essentially. So it's like, just if your phone's old and low in storage.
Do you have Google Photos?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
it sucks so much that they took away the unlimited free storage.
Oh, Google Photos?
Yeah, they limited it to 15 gigs.
Yeah. And I think I have like 40 or like something gigs of photos.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you had in there before doesn't count against it. It's just anything you add after that.
Yeah.
Which sucks because now my Google Drive is almost full and I barely used it.
Dang. I pay for Google Drive and I got like iCloud or whatever. It's just like, it's not enough.
You pay for both?
Yeah, because I forgot to cancel the other.
The 2 terabytes wasn't enough for you?
Yeah. No, I think I have the 200 gig one for iCloud. But I have a lot of photos on my iPhone that I like on my iPhone because I can't access my photos when I don't have service.
Oh, that's another thing. iOS 15, if you're paying for iCloud, you get their free VPN thing that automatically encrypts all your data for the iCloud.
I don't care about my data. Other people have it.
You can have it. Oh, and they added
have it all.
I don't know if you saw, but they added the new thing where you can see how many people are tracking you and like all the different trackers on there.
So like in Safari?
Yeah, you can actually see all the different trackers, and these are just like companies. Cool. There's more trackers within these. It's cool. Absolutely crazy.
Absolutely
insane.
Wow.
Or that's where it says trackers that they've blocked. I don't know if they really whatever. Also, I didn't know Bumble was owned by Facebook, or they had like they share data networks. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just found that out because I was looking on there and I saw Facebook and I was like, what am I using that's I mean, I have Instagram. That I expected to be on there. But Bumble is on there too. I was like, that's
you know what's really sad is if you go on screen time and you look at the Bumble screen time. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, did you see the new maps for iOS 15? I know we're just talking about iOS 15.
Wasn't that gonna be like 3D or something?
Yeah, so let me show you. And this is like in our town where like it's not a big town, so I wasn't expecting this. But yeah, like the whole. I have to start a route somewhere. Okay, let's just start a route to this place. You didn't hear that. But yeah, like the whole map is in like it's like sort of a 2.5D view when you have the map running.
Dora would be exploring that.
Dora would be so hyped. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much all for the Apple event. We've been going for a good 35 minutes.
Looking forward to iOS 16 and the iPhone 14. Screw this year, man.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be great. Did you see the iPhone 14's already leaking?
Oh, I hope so.
It leaked 2 weeks before this event even came out.
Dang. Apple, what are you doing? Get your stuff together, you know?
Yeah, well, they just recently, I think, arrested a guy, like one of their chief software engineers, because he was leaking stuff. Yeah. So
Yikes.
that's cool. And I think I could be wrong. I could just be putting things in my brain that are not real. But I'm pretty sure he's like one of their software engineers that they've had in Apple events before. Like he was like a top engineer.
What if we don't see Craig Federici anymore?
Craig Federici's just gone.
You just never see him again?
He honestly seems like the kind of guy that would leak stuff. Bro, why are his eyebrows a different color than his hair?
Why is
that makes me so weird? That weirds me out so much. Why is his hair a different color than his eyebrows?
I can imagine.
Does he dye his eyebrows or his hair?
I think he's just naturally an alien.
Or is he just naturally an alien?
Dude, imagine you're on Bumble and then that's what you see. Like, oh, you know?
Craig Federighi. He's doing his like. Yeah. Why is his smile like also like? He's like. It's so funny, bro. Now we're just roasting Craig Federighi. I don't know why.
We should just roast this guy.
And he actually seems like pretty cool because he's done interviews with like YouTubers and stuff too.
Yeah, he's like a good guy. You know what's really good is he actually almost answered the question why the iPad doesn't have a calculator.
He got so close to answering it, and then he was like, "It just doesn't."
Because why would you calculate on an iPad?
I did like I don't remember. I think it was MKBHD that asked him like, "Why can't you pair an Apple Watch to an iPad?" Because honestly, if you could pair an Apple Watch to an iPad, I would not have an iPhone. I would buy an iPad Pro. I would pair my Apple Watch to it, and I would just bring my AirPods with me everywhere. And then if I needed to take a call, I would take it on my AirPods and control it with my watch.
That's exactly why Apple doesn't do that.
Exactly. They want you to buy the iPhone.
You have that, and that.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous, but
you know what Apple needs is
options.
Apple Pencil support for the Apple Watch.
Why doesn't the freaking iPhone have Apple Pencil support?
Yeah, the Samsung Galaxy S
comes with a freaking pen.
Yeah,
but no, this is illegal. I'm doing an illegal action.
But you can actually hook up a mouse to the iPhone.
Yeah, which is why? Why would you ever do that?
Thank you, Craig Federighi.
It's like, hang on, let me just. No one's doing that.
Well, I mean, you don't know how I do my business.
I know you don't do it like that. Could you imagine, like, okay, you know how some people use like iPads and stuff for school, like as they're like note taking and stuff.
School, yeah.
Could you imagine using your phone for like you whip out your foldable keyboard and you connect your mouse?
Yeah.
You're typing up. Someone walks by, they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But yeah.
Truly an innovative company. That's innovation right there.
That's innovation right there.
Not letting you use a stylus on the device, that you can only use a mouse.
Well, and the thing is, in past versions of iOS, and usually it's been in like beta versions of iOS that weren't the main release, there were parts of the UI that you could use Apple Pencil on. Like, I believe it was iOS like 11 or 12. It was like the one that had released right after the Apple Pencil came out, where they just introduced the button where you could clear all notifications. And you could activate that button with an Apple Pencil. And it was the only thing in the entire UI that the Apple Pencil worked on, and then they took it off. So you couldn't even do that. Like, I would like to be able to take notes on my phone with an Apple Pencil sometimes. Sometimes I find myself in that situation, you know? You got your class on your iPad.
Yeah.
All you got's your phone. Instead of doing some stupid split screen thing where you can barely fit everything on the screen, it'd be nice to just do like this, you know? There's notepads that are the same size as this.
Yeah. Well, Apple wants... That's a good point. There are notepads the same size.
But no. Not in Apple's world. All of the notepads in the Apple campus are larger than this. They have to be.
Yeah.
It's mandatory.
And all the notepads have rounded bezels, too.
They're rounded.
And they have
They have OLED displays on the
70% increased battery life from the indoors.
The battery life of my notepad is increased.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think this would probably be a good time to sort of wrap it up. We probably should go get some food here soon. So
what a sketchy company.
For those of you guys watching live, I will be back on later tonight. For those of you watching on YouTube who are very confused by what I just said, I will not be on later tonight because this is on YouTube. But if you want to see me some more, watch some of my other videos. They're either on this side or this side. Somewhere, there's somewhere.
Check
the
man
somehow.
out.
Check it out. Watch the videos. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Peace.